from the judges later on. People in Indonesia have been talking about, well, we might as well ignore that. Yes, that from legal point of view, it's not enforceable. But that would give the governments a basis to take initiative to resolve once and for all the atrocities, the gross systematic violation of human rights took place in 1965. So when we are talking about truth, when we are talking about reconciliation, when we are talking about reparations, compensation, damages, you name it, the ruling of the judges would be the basis, opening up the way for us to finally resolve what has been systematically ignored and neglected by the government. This is a state responsibility to have that resolved. Of course, there have been some unfortunate comments from the officials who misunderstood the whole concept of tribunal. I appreciate, I'm grateful to the comments made by the Foreign Minister, Retno Marsudi, who said, well, this is, a tribunal, nothing to do with the Dutch governments, and also comments by the head of the Indonesian intelligence head, General Sutioso, who said, well, this is part of democracy. So he's not blaming the human rights defenders. He's not condemning the tribunal. For me, that's a good sign, although I regret there have been some comments also which came out from some people who don't really understand the whole notion of IPT. The fact that IPT, the tribunal is held in Holland, is also an issue. Why in Holland? Of course, I would love to have this tribunal in Jakarta. I would love to have the tribunal in somewhere in Indonesia, you name it, Bali, Bandung, or wherever. But how could we have the tribunal in Indonesia? Securely, safely? Because when I was in Bali, attending the Ubud Writers and Readers Festivals, 3 panels on 1965 were banned by the local police. Joshua Oppenheimer could not show his films in Indonesia. And there have been other occasions prevented by the local authority. So it is not possible under any circumstances in Indonesia at the moment to hold the tribunal in Indonesia. But human rights is not a domestic matter. Please keep that in mind. When we talk about atrocities, when we talk about gross and systematic violation of human rights, it belongs to human beings. There's no national boundaries. If a nation fails to resolve the human rights violations, to stop the atrocities, to resolve them, then it becomes the business of human beings. The question is why now? That is also another issue. Again, I would like to mention one more time. Komnas HAM produced the report, the investigative report, in 2012. They did their investigation for 4 years, from 2008 to 2012. They've submitted the report to the Attorney General office, and nothing has been done up to this very moment. So I think if we don't do something, yeah, now 50 years already since 1965, we will run out of time. We'll be running out of time, you know. I think if not now, when can we do that? I don't think there's any time available left for us, you know, if we don't do it now. So I think from the time we have, you know, to do it, because we owe this to the victims, we owe this to the nation, we owe this to the values that we have been fighting for since our independence. I do have few other points, but I would like to stop here. But I guess, you know, again, I just would like to once again stress this is a milestone in the human rights history in Indonesia. Yeah. And we are not here only speaking for the 1965. Let me just repeat. When we talk about human rights, we're talking also about the right of minorities that are being suppressed in Indonesia. The Ahmadiyya, the Baha'i, yeah, the Shia, GKI Yasmin, and others. We still have a lot of to do. We still have a lot of homework, you know, to really build and strengthen human rights values, to strengthen human dignity in Indonesia. This is our homework. This is our agenda for the futures. Thank you.
Thank you, Mulia. Your comment, Pak Martin, witness and victim, Pak Martin Areda.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, my respected lawyer and prosecutor, my friend, Mulia Lubis, dearest Saskia and you, Thompson, thank you, of course, for your support. And as you are aware that in closing my testimony 2 days ago, I did say that it is my greatest hope that a panel of judges, with their wisdom, would come to a kind of not a verdict, but the conclusion that would shed a light, if not a sun, to the road that the Indonesian people should go through to rebuild their dignity that have been shattered by the dictatorship of General Suharto, and rebuild the country together of all elements in the society. And I noted one very strong point read about by the president of the judges, that the grave human rights violation did occur. Did occur. And that the government should follow up the findings by the United Nations Human Rights Commissions. And finally, I would close because I don't want to take more of your time, that all these success undertaking is only possible because of your support, at least your presence during the 4 days of prison. I thank you, and hopefully pray for me that I could return to hug and kiss my wife and the whole my family safely. I thank you.
I came here as a historian who was asked to say something about the role of the US and other countries as being complicit in these killings in 1965 and 1966. And I believe, as a historian who studies genocide and mass violence, that we too often treat these events as if they happen in a vacuum, as if a government murders its own people and the rest of the world simply looks on in silence or ignorance and does nothing. And yet we know from the case of Indonesia that mass violence such as this almost never occurs in a vacuum. It often occurs with the complicity, the support of other governments, and that as historians and activists, we need to demand that our own governments acknowledge the truth of their own responsibility in these crimes as well. As a historian, I believe it is my job to seek after the truth and to let the chips fall where they may. As an American, I believe it is my responsibility to seek after the truth of what my own government has done in the Cold War in the name of democracy and human rights and values that I believe in myself. And as a human being who has been humbled by the testimony of many of the Indonesian witnesses, I believe that it is our job to do what we can to bear larger witness to the suffering that they endured and to do something.
May it be the non-actors who are involved in human rights violations, atrocities against the mankind. We will not stop at all. So thank you very much for being here from whichever country you come from. Netherlands is a country who have been as a colonial power in Indonesia. There have been atrocities committed by the ex-colonial powers, may it be Netherlands or United Kingdom or other countries. There have been violation of human rights on earth. It's going on in Latin America, in Asia, even in Southern Europe. And let's join hands to fight all these shameful actors on earth who are leaving no space for us to breathe in peace, global justice, harmony, and solidarity. I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone from the floor, please? No more?
Well, if nobody,
Oh, yeah.
if nobody else is there, if nobody else speaks at this moment, I think somehow we're all waiting for a moment to extend our format and gratitude to Saskia, because everybody has had an applause, but she hasn't had yet. So I would like to congratulate her. I think it's fantastic, and we all know that it's fantastic, but it has to be said again. And you know, I'm one of these old human rights fighters from the past. And I quit a little bit Indonesia. I did all the things, all the human rights violations elsewhere. Saskia, I'm so grateful for what you did. Really, I think it's fantastic.
I'm sure everybody agrees with what was said. Can we in any yes, please, Barbara.
Of course, I'm also very, very, very grateful that justice is done to all these masses in Indonesia. I mean, it's not yet done, but we made a very important step. And allow me to ask a question: what will happen next once the judges have come with their final report? What steps are being foreseen to do with this? Can you elaborate a bit on that, that we may look ahead a bit?
I know is already thinking about, and so then again this whole experience of the tribunal will be brought in Indonesia with human rights activists, with students all over. We have to start a process of re-educating, not only in Indonesia itself, also among Indonesian students abroad. Our experience is that they are deeply misinformed. The students who are working, who are living and studying here in Europe also do not know their own history. So that is also a task before us to do that. What we have seen surrounding this process is we are a small band of people working as hard as we can, but lots of other initiatives are coming up, right? From the victim organizations who are now, I hope, strengthened by the statement of this tribunal to also hold more, we hope many flowers will grow out of this, will bloom, many small mushrooms will start, many initiatives will also start. We will try to support those as far as we can. We will make the research material available. We will have to go back to our researchers for that, because our researchers will promise, many of them are also activists, that the material will only be submitted to the judges, right? So we have to go back, which kind of material can come out, and we will work with that. We will continue working with that. And we hope our prosecuting team will, of course, also help in spreading the word. We hope all our allies all over the world will help in spreading the word. We will, of course, immediately inform our 40 researchers all over the world to help spread the word. We are a small seedling, and we will hope many more initiatives will follow from it, some of which we will be able to support, others will grow themselves out of this. We're not done, we have started.
If I could just say one thing. In the United States, there is now a Senate resolution which has been introduced by Senator Thomas Udall of Colorado, which has called upon the United States government to release the remaining classified documents concerning U.S. covert operations in Indonesia between 1964 and 1966. There are other initiatives like this, and I would hope that the judges in their final recommendations will also call upon the Obama administration to release the remaining classified documents that would reveal exactly what the U.S. knew and was doing at the time regarding covert operations and knowledge and participation in the killings. There are, of course, many other countries that were knowledgeable of and were involved in other ways, and hopefully other researchers, other activists can pressure their own governments in Australia, in the United Kingdom as well, to petition their governments to release the documents that they have, so that the Indonesian people can know that there are allies in other parts of the world who are trying to make sure that their own governments are held accountable for what they did at this time as well.
Thank you, Brad. I would give the floor to Reza Muharram to tell you about what the media team has suffered and succeed to reach public.
Well, thank you. This is a great moment for all of us. This is a milestone in the history of the human rights struggle in Indonesia, as Mbak Mulya has already said. It is also just a beginning, as Saskia said. So we still have to go very far from here. And I'm a bit concerned about the safety of all our witnesses and our friends who's coming here. But I believe in the next coming days and weeks, all friends all over the world who has seen this tribunal through our live streaming, we also keep an eye on them. So we will need your support if something happens. Yeah, because I mean, for the last 4 days, we are really attacked, cyber attacks by different sources from 4 different countries. One day is our website was down. Day before, our hard disk was empty, and our friends from the media group has to work very hard. But I haven't slept for 2 days to recover all this. I apologize to our friends in Indonesia about this because there's a lot of complaint about you know, the quality of the sound and everything. But we have done our best. I thanks also the camera teams, Theo over there. Theo, thank you. Victor, of course, and Ras, where is Ras, and Bang Ai, and also well, the redaction, Tosi, Leah, Yos, Yanti, and Bang Badi, and Lina also. Yeah. So thank you very much. But keep in mind, we will still need your support in the coming months and coming years. Thank you.
We almost have to close. We almost have to close. Just one question more. If I mean, yes, please.
There is some bad